Good morning, Jimmy. How you doing today?
Doing well, Terry. I hope you are. It's always a pleasure to chat with you.
Yeah. Well, Jimmy, we was at the Tupper Theater a couple of days ago in Adcock, and we were looking at Church Basement Lady. I was trying to work my way over to get you on video and just ask you some questions, but I was tied up with my good friend Margaret Murkison, and so she was doing a little interview, so I didn't get a chance to chat with you much. So, give me some of the highlights of what's going on around the great city of Sanford and Lee County.
I'll be glad to, Terry. As you mentioned earlier, the level of activity from a construction standpoint, an economic development standpoint, is actually obvious if you drive around town. You can see a lot of activity going on. One of the areas we had discussed previously was the Central Carolina Enterprise Park, and the activity as you come into town on US 1 from the Triangle area heading south. It's very apparent that Sanford has something really special going on when you approach the Colon Road intersection. And so I thought I'd take just a minute to update you on all the activity that's going on out there. And it's not that there are projects we haven't talked about before, but they're just much more visible now. You know, it's one thing to have a company make a decision to locate in your community and announce their intentions to build a building and invest a lot of capital and create new jobs for the local residents. It's another thing to see those buildings going vertical and to see the construction projects being completed. And that's what you're witnessing now out at the Colon Road intersection. When Saga, with their partners at CCEP, started the building program to build shell buildings at Central Carolina Enterprise Park, they chose the most prominent lot in the park right in the intersection of Colon Road and US 1. As you're headed south, it would be on your right at that intersection on the side towards town. And that facility is now, which was a shell building with no end user in mind when construction began, is now owned and occupied by Astellas Pharma. They manufacture life-changing gene therapies in that facility, and they're going through the process now of actually hiring the folks they said they were going to hire. When that project was announced, they indicated they would invest over $100 million in that facility, and they plan to hire over 200 employees at an average wage approaching $80,000 a year. The hiring is well underway. They are, as I understand it now, have more than 30 employees working there, and the number may have changed even more substantially since I last spoke with them. The facility is nearing completion on the interior. They'll go through a FDA validation process and then actually begin to manufacture product there in the facility. One of the things that a visitor or a resident coming south on US 1 will notice is the prominent sign up on the corner there that says Astellas, and it's a wonderful gateway for our community. Not just a blank wall, if you will, on a kind of generic looking industrial building, but an amazing facade of glass, colorful facade and beautiful landscaping, and a prominently displayed sign announcing Astellas' presence there. So very exciting to see the shell building program come to fruition with a company locating there and very soon beginning full-scale operations there. But as you look at that corner, you'll notice on the hill behind it another very similar looking building. So it's not just one building. The building up on the hill is Abzena. And Abzena is a contract pharmaceutical manufacturer that will serve a number of customers in the pharmaceutical industry from their Sanford location. And they're not nearly as far along with their construction or their local hiring at this point. But Abzena has announced that they plan to invest $213 million in that facility, and that on top of that, they'll be hiring 325 people. So another major job creator has located there in the park in the second shell building. And if you were to turn off at that intersection and head away from town on Colon Road towards those two buildings, on your right, you'll see an awful lot of activity going on with a lot of heavy machinery and earth-moving equipment. And what you're witnessing there is the birth of Galvin's Ridge, which is a mixed development that will have a combination of single-family homes, multifamily homes, and then some commercial businesses right in the corner there of US 1 and Colon Road. And that project is moving along very rapidly now. Galvin's Ridge has, the developers of Galvin's Ridge, the builders themselves, D.R. Horton, have taken possession of the first 94 lots for single-family homes to be built there, and expect to begin construction very soon on the first of those many single-family homes that will be available to residents out in that area. That's a very important part of our overall economic development activity, because with all of these jobs, we hope to have folks choose to locate here in Lee County and not just commute into work. As we've talked about before, Terry, Lee County is currently a net importer of workers. The number of jobs that we have here in Lee County to be filled are currently exceeding our local capacity to fill them, and so we have a net inflow in terms of people commuting into Lee County to work each day. That is a good position to be in, but we also want to make sure that we're having our local residents that we get up and come to work and work for and serve each day. We want to make sure that they have an opportunity to access these good jobs that are being created, and that as many of them are able to take advantage of that to live their best lives and have the success that they want in their life with these new good paying jobs that are coming in. And one aspect of that is housing. It's being able to provide housing for folks either that are experiencing upward mobility by moving into some of these jobs that maybe pay a higher wage than a job they were in, and maybe gives them the opportunity to move into a home of their own for the first time, or maybe to move into a larger home or a home that can meet the needs of a growing family. So it's exciting to see both the residential development going on and the new capital investment on a significant industrial scale, and all those new jobs being created right there in one spot. You get a look at it.
Yeah. Jimmy, I noticed downtown Sanford is really, really, really growing. So can you give me some insight on all the good things that happen to uptown Sanford?
I'll be glad to, Terry. You're right in pointing out that the development on the periphery and the new industrial park is not all the good news from an economic development standpoint. The partnership between Saga and Central Carolina Community College and downtown Sanford is in putting together the RISE program is another highlight of our economic development efforts, and again is a testament, I think, to the spirit of partnership and collaboration that has characterized all of our recent economic development success. But those three entities are working to provide an opportunity for local entrepreneurs, people that have a good idea, maybe are already operating a business from their home or from a temporary space, to get some important training on how to own and operate a small business and overcome all the challenges and opportunities that come with that, and also try to address their real estate needs. For those who aren't aware of it, the RISE program offers a Shark Tank-like opportunity at the conclusion of the training program, which spreads out over 4 weeks, with classes provided by the Small Business Center, as well as local experts in areas like finance and law, to provide all of the assistance that a budding entrepreneur might need to understand how to successfully own and operate a business. It also offers them the opportunity at the conclusion of the training to pitch their business to a team of local business owners and potentially receive up to a $5,000 grant for payment of utilities and rent for a space in downtown. And so to your point about a lot of activity going on in downtown and having new businesses downtown, many of those folks who go through the program don't actually have a brick and mortar location yet. And the program has allowed several of them to find and help them pay for vacant real estate in the downtown area. And one of those is right across the street from us here at my office, the catering business that's located across the street. Another would be the yoga studio that's adjacent to the bike shop in downtown Sanford near Sanders Bakery. And we could go down the list there, but several of those entrepreneurs are now operating their businesses there. And one of the outcomes of that program, we're in the 5th class now of the RISE program, is that for all of the available space in downtown Sanford that would be appropriate for these businesses to move into, most of it's now occupied or not on the market. So downtown Sanford recently went along with the chamber to the city council and asked them for permission to expand that program over into downtown Jonesboro and over into the areas outside of the central business district in downtown Sanford. And they've gotten approval for that. So we're going to be seeing some of these entrepreneurs who come through the RISE program locating in downtown Jonesboro and potentially in other appropriate retail spaces elsewhere in the city, which is a very exciting thing to see a program that's so successful that you're having to expand it. And again, I think the motivation that drives me every day when I come to work is thinking about how I can help make the lives of our local citizens and residents better and give them an opportunity, if they choose to take it, to experience upward mobility in their career and to have the life for themselves and their family they would really like to have, and to have that here. And I think one of the realities in North Carolina is that we have been experiencing for quite some time and continue to experience a shift of folks from rural areas into the more urban areas. And communities like Sanford and Lee County that are right on the edge of that rural-urban divide have a real challenge before them in terms of creating an environment and creating a climate where residents can find the opportunity that they're looking for right here, and they don't have to move away. And the declining populations that we've seen in some of our small towns that at one time were very similar in size to Sanford in the eastern part of the state and the more rural areas in the western part of the state, we have not experienced that. We've continued to grow. We've continued to be able to provide opportunities for our local residents to be successful and have the life that they aspire to for themselves and their families right here. And really that's our mission each day, is to keep looking for ways to expand the tax base, create the opportunity to provide new and better services for the residents here in Sanford and Lee County, and spread that tax burden around as much as possible to reduce the burden on any one individual, and then also to create new and better jobs so that folks always have an opportunity to take that next step that they aspire to in their lives and do that right here rather than having to go elsewhere to seek that. Those things that we're trying to accomplish for our local residents also make our community more attractive for folks from the outside. And having a TDA in place now that's doing a great job of recruiting visitors to the area for the weekends and for entertainment options and events and shopping and those types of things is also a good sign for us when it comes to meeting the workforce needs of our large employers. One of our challenges right now, really across the country and around the world, is that employers are having difficulty finding the skilled workers that they need to be optimally successful and to grow to meet the growing demands of the marketplace. And we in Sanford so far have done a good job of both creating opportunities locally to find workforce through our local educational institutions like the Lee County Schools and the Community College, Central Carolina Community College, and also doing a good job of creating the kind of community that folks would want to move to and allow us to attract labor from outside, attract employees from other places to come and live and work and raise their families right here in our community. So we have plenty of challenges ahead of us, but we're doing a really good job working together, communicating with each other, collaborating with all of our partners, public and private, to create the most favorable climate for individual and business success that we can here in Sanford and Lee County. And I just look forward to continuing to pursue that mission in the days and years ahead, Terry, and continuing to work with good folks like you to communicate what we're about to the community and engage with everyone in making Sanford and Lee County the best possible place to live, work, and raise a family.
Jimmy, I really appreciate those kind words, and I'm always happy to see you and shake hands. And we're gonna have to get together one of these days and get that Coca-Cola,
Yes, sir.
that small Coca-Cola, hot dog. We're gonna have to break bread and we're going to invite the mayor, the city council, the county commissioners, Jimmy here, and all the other people that left out. I think we have to get together and just have a great big old country hot dog and a baby Coca-Cola day. How do you think about that?
I think that's a fantastic idea. You know, we work so hard to deal with each day's challenges and to, you know, take advantage of that next better opportunity for our community each and every day. And you make a great point. I don't think we necessarily pause often enough to reflect on the good work we're doing and to thank those that have been such an important part of our success. And we still have a lot of challenges to address, but it's always good to pause and take stock of where you are and to reflect on all those who helped you get to the good place that you're in right now, and then regroup and think about how you're going to get to that next best place.
And you know, I'm gonna say this thing, we're close, but you know, I travel all around North Carolina and everywhere doing a lot of things, but it's so good to see that the city and the county, everyone, it's a team effort. You know, like it's just good to see everyone pulling in the same direction. And it's been a pleasure talking to you today. Do you have any closing remark that you'd like to make?
I think I really would like to follow up on what you just said, and I think that the leadership that we currently have in place at both the city and the county and the town of Broadway, and here within our organization at Saga, the Chamber of Commerce, downtown Sanford, you know, I can keep on going down that list because we do have so many highly effective organizations working together under good leadership. And you made the point. We have a shared vision of what the future could be for our community, and that vision changes as conditions change, as the economy changes and evolves. But we have the type of relationships in place that allow us to continue to communicate on a constant basis, on a continual basis, about those changes and how they might affect us and how they might affect our vision. And it allows us to be very nimble and to prepare for the future, even as it constantly changes. And again, I think the collaboration that we have here in our neck of the woods in Sanford, Lee County, and Broadway is superior to that in most communities. You know, I might venture to say all communities our size that I've experienced, we do such a great job of that here. And it makes my job a lot easier. It also makes my job a lot more fun. And I look forward to continuing to work with all those partners in, as I said earlier, the years ahead to keep taking advantage of this momentum we're currently experiencing.
All right. Thank you so very much, Jimmy, for taking the time to sit down and chat with me today. And let's do this again, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Terry.